It's a new year, and if you're anything like me, then you probably started off the year thinking about all the great things that you want to achieve in the next 12 months. But great achievements require determination, planning, hard work, and consistency. They also require confidence, courage, and a whole lot of compassion, mostly for yourself. So this won't be just another goal-setting tips video on YouTube. I want to tell you how I set my goals in a practical sense, but I also want to remind you to be kind to yourself as you achieve your goals and give you a dose of motivation and good energy to start off the year. Please remember, I'm just a guy on YouTube sharing my personal experience, so please put on your critical thinking hat and decide for yourself what works and what doesn't. Before I tell you how I set my goals for the year, we need to talk about the reason that we set goals for ourselves in the first place. And I think this is universal, that we all set goals because we want to address certain shortcomings or because we aspire to achieve great things. Either way, we set goals because we want to live our best lives and be the best versions of ourselves. Whether your goal is to be more healthy, to make more money, to find love and get into a relationship, whatever it is, you want it because you want to live your best life. A lot of people think that simply translates to being happy, but happiness is fleeting. What we want is to be comfortable, content, and grateful along the way. The reason I'm reminding you why we set goals for ourselves is because I have been guilty in the past of making myself miserable over not achieving certain goals. If this entire exercise of setting goals is ultimately going to end up upsetting me and making me miserable, then what is the point of doing it? We set goals for ourselves because we want to feel good and elevate the quality of our lives. I think this is something that we tend to forget while we try to achieve our goals, so keep it in mind. To achieve the goals we set for ourselves and to live our best lives, there are 4 things that we need to have. The first one is self-awareness. In my opinion, it is crucial for you to know yourself, to know your core values and purpose, and to be aware of your toolkit. What I mean by your toolkit is the skills that you possess, because if you set a goal that requires a certain skill that you do not possess, then maybe developing that skill should be the goal you set for yourself rather than the original goal you set, if that makes sense. For example, if someone wants to be an author, then the skill that they would need to have is writing. If they cannot write, they won't be able to become an author. Number 2, you have to have a strategy. When you set your goals, do you understand what they are, why you're setting them, how they fit within your bigger plan, how to make them happen, and the time frame you need to achieve them? Are your goals achievable? Are they realistic? How will you stick to them? These are all things that you need to consider. Number 3 is action. What are the things that you can do in your day-to-day life to get closer to achieving the goals that you set for yourself? Finally, number 4 is mindset. And I would argue that this is probably the most important one out of the 4. When it comes to mindset, how are you going to manage the difficult times? We all have a natural human tendency to lose motivation when things don't go our way. We get disheartened when the reality of life doesn't match the positive energy that we had when we first set our goals. So we need to stay conscious and try our best to live in the present moment to follow through on our goals when times get rough. We should always remember that as long as we are trying, we are succeeding. Even when we fail to achieve our goals, our failure is a testament and proof that we have succeeded because we have tried. Not trying is real failure. Number 1, aspirations versus goals. Understand the difference. Understanding the difference between aspirations and goals is very important. There's a difference between having a vision for where you want your life to go and setting goals. Having a vision for yourself is great and will serve as a northern star that will guide you to your desired destination. But the goals that you set for yourself will serve as little pit stops along the way to your destination, and each time you achieve a goal, it will take you closer. The main difference between aspirations and goals is that aspirations are open-ended, but goals are limited and finite. Goals need to be SMART. That's a popular acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Dream big, go crazy with the vision that you have for yourself. Your goals, however, need to be closer to reality. In my case, I wanted big things for myself when it came to my music career, and having those aspirations absolutely helped me achieve a lot of the things that I did. But I think if I had set more SMART goals for myself, I could have had a bigger impact, and I think I would have definitely had a clearer path. Tip number 2 is set the right goals. This tip has 2 components to it. The first is that your goals should have a logical order to them. For example, when I decided to apply for immigration to Canada, I knew that there were several steps I had to take, including taking an English language exam. I couldn't apply for immigration without that exam, so passing it was the goal that I set for myself, or one of the goals that I set for myself before the goal of actually applying for immigration. The second component to this tip is that you should set goals that are within your control. For example, if you set a goal to start a YouTube channel and get 100,000 subscribers in the first year, that is not a goal with a controllable outcome. You cannot predict or control 100,000 people to subscribe to your channel. An alternate goal with a controllable outcome would be to upload good quality videos consistently once a week for a whole year. Now that is within your control. The outcome is 52 high quality videos. If you were paying attention to the last tip, then you would know that having 100,000 subscribers is not a goal. It is an... If you're enjoying the video so far, please hit the like button, as that would really help me out. Thank you. All right, tip number 3 is be flexible with your strategy. Sometimes things happen that require our immediate attention, or certain goals that we set for ourselves at the beginning of the year no longer apply to our current situation or no longer align with our strategy. In those cases, it's okay to set other goals to maximize our success or avoid certain problems. Or if we find that we are working towards a goal, but very little to no impact at all is being made, then it's okay to reevaluate and set smaller goals. Always try to be flexible with your strategy, go with the flow, and trust your instincts. Tip number 4 is limit the number of your goals. In my experience, whenever I set out to do too much, I would fail to achieve my goals. If I did achieve them, they wouldn't be of the quality that I know that I'm capable of delivering. I normally set 3 to 5 goals for the whole year max. Tip number 5 is redefine success and failure. This is going back to what I said earlier about mindset. If you set a goal with a controllable outcome and you do your very best to achieve that outcome, then that is success. Not seeing the numbers or the return you expected is not failure. I firmly believe that if something is not meant for you, you are not going to get it, even if you work for it for 1,000,000 years. To me, that is simply a sign to let go and move on to other aspirations. That's why I don't mind not succeeding. What I do mind, though, is one day waking up, looking back at my life and wondering how it would have turned out if I had tried doing what I love and what I wanted to do. I don't want to regret not trying my best and not living my best life because I was held back by certain beliefs or expectations. Tip number 6 is always be kind towards yourself. This is especially important for all my fellow perfectionists out there. We can be so hard on ourselves. We tend to beat ourselves up when we don't perform as well as we think we could. We ignore what our bodies are telling us. We ignore our instincts, and that is not healthy. Instead of doing that, we should always be kind towards ourselves and remind ourselves that this kindness fuels us. It is a healthy act of self-love to recognize that you have limitations, that you are a person with feelings and mood swings, and that on top of the world, within you, you exist in an entire world outside of yourself. Something will absolutely get in the way of you achieving your goals. It's just how life is. When it throws that curveball at you, be ready with your shield of self-love. When you feel bad about your progress or about losing momentum, remind yourself that this is an experience that everybody, literally everyone, goes through. You are not alone. Everyone is on a path to achieving things for themselves, and we all have our fair share of tumbles and falls. What matters is that you wrap yourself up with compassion and pick up where you left off when you're ready. Tip number 7, and this is very, very important: protect your self-worth. A lot of us, me, tend to tie our self-worth with how much success we have in achieving our goals. I learned the hard way that I need to protect my self-worth and separate it from my achievements at all times, because whether I achieve a goal or not should not define me. What truly defines me is who I am as a person, how I treat myself, how I treat others, and how I go about spending my time here on earth. If I do that with an open mind, and if I lead with kindness, courage, and gratitude, then I'm good. At the end of the day, remember that all the goals that you set for yourself have a limit to how much they actually matter in the big picture of life. Whether you succeed or not at achieving your goals should not have a big impact on how you view yourself or how much you are worth in your own eyes. Achieving goals should be fun and lighthearted. If you treat goals as fun games that you play knowing that it doesn't matter whether you win or not, trying to achieve them is going to feel a lot less stressful. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please hit the like button, as that would suggest to the algorithm to show it to more people and contribute to the channel's growth. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Go get those goals.